Hello and welcome to another episode of Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music. Well, the things we care about, which is metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, and I'm joined by my other host,
Karen.
What are we going to talk today about, Karen?
We are going to talk about Bloodywood.
Yeah, so Bloodywood. This was their 9 Inch Nons tour. It was October 3rd, 2022 at Beat Kitchen in Chicago. The opener was A Killer's Confession, and we paid $20 a ticket for this show.
Not bad.
Not
no
bad
fees.
at all. No fees. It was all through their ticketing thing on website, like Eventbrite but not Eventbrite type thing.
Yeah.
I found out about this band with the Pit daily newsletter they send out. They had an article that came out one day and it was like Bloodywood's first US tour is going to be coming up this fall. Anybody who can should check them out, blah blah blah. Just stuff like that. And so I clicked on it. The headline was like, I don't usually click on the headlines unless it's something super interested, then I'll go in and read it. And yeah, I had never heard of this band. It was an Indian folk nu metal band. It's, I think, how it was described. So I started listening to it before you got home from work that day. I think I had it on. I think we had a Cubs game or something we were going to, so you weren't in the best of moods. But you listened to it a little bit. Don't think you really listened that well. You just sort of all right, whatever, let's go.
I don't remember that day at all.
The next day or a couple days later, we were driving. I think we were going to Milwaukee for Summerfest or something. And I put it on in the car. And you're like, who is this? And it's like, it's Bloodywood. It's that band I was telling you about the other day. You're like, oh, they're pretty good. I like this. And so we figured, what the fuck? It's $20 a ticket. Let's go check it out type thing. And have you listened to it much before going to the actual concert?
No. I think we listened that one time in the car. Well, obviously you played it for me before, but I don't remember. And then in that one time in the car, and then we were on our way back from Green Bay and we listened to it again.
It may have come up. The only other time I remember listening to it listening to them a lot, and by a lot I mean more than 2 songs, right? Maybe 6 songs while driving or something, was we went to a friend's wedding and she's Indian. So it was an Indian wedding and then a Christian wedding, an all-day wedding. And we were joking, if they have open requests, we should put Bloodywood on there. And so we listened to a lot to try to figure out what song we'd put on. They didn't really have open requests. They had their own DJ doing his own thing, which was really cool to see. It was a good mixture of Indian music and Indian pop and rap music and current not relevant, but current Indian music being played alongside current Western or American hit music tracks and whatnot, right? So that was a really cool way of that they melded those two together, which we'll get into, but I think this band does really well as well.
I think so. Yeah.
But that's how I found out about them, how we found out about this tour. It seemed super interesting. It was the like I said, it was the first US tour, so we figured, what the hell? They're going to be in Chicago. Beat Kitchen is... It's not in Lakeview, I don't think. That's no longer... Is that still Lakeview?
I think it's still Lakeview, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Lakeview's really long.
But it's Belmont Street, which we're very familiar with. And so we just take we took the train up there, and then it was a 1.5 mile walk. We walked because it was a nice night.
Yeah.
A couple buses went by, and we just kept walking. But
yeah, it's just past Damon, so I don't know how long that is, but...
Yeah. It's halfway between the Belmont Red Line and Kuma's, basically, I would say, thereabout. So I was kind of excited going into this because of, it was listening to them beforehand. It is they sing in Hindi as well as English, and it's sort of, there's some rap components to it, some really, really hard vocals to it as well, and also traditional where that's where the folk aspect comes in, right? Traditional instruments and traditional sounds that when you think of Indian music,
yeah, Bollywood music,
yeah, that's what you pick up on your ear and you run with that. So I was super intrigued. I've liked whatever we've listened to on Spotify, and it's been a blast. I don't know what your thoughts were, what your anticipation was going in.
No, I liked listening to them on Spotify, and I was very interested in how it was going to come together, what it would be like, how it would sound in person, just like how they would dress. I guess foreign bands, I like to see what they bring of their culture versus just adhering to the Western American style.
Jeans and t-shirt.
Jeans and t-shirt, yeah, yeah. So it was very and like you said, we had been to an Indian wedding earlier this year, so we had a little bit more of that culture. We both work with people of India, or
Southeast Asia, like areas, yeah.
Yeah, so we both have a lot of coworkers that have this culture. So I think it was something that we've been more exposed to being here in Chicago versus back home in Iowa. But yeah, just be able to see a different aspect of the culture and kind of meld together with the music taste that we like as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. We both work with, people from this culture, from this background. So we are a little bit more exposed to it, or have been in the past, as well as we live in Chicago. And Chicago has a really large Indian population as well. So it's kind of hard sometimes to miss that culture. Like it's all over the place. And for the best, I would say 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah.
So yeah, that was a really cool thing as well. And I don't know, I also wanted, that's what I meant by it's a really cool thing, is I wanted to see how they brought that in as well. So during the show, the first opener said, hey, I think this was like the 7th stop on this U.S. tour.
Yeah.
With a couple festivals, obviously. Well, not obviously, but I think the first show was Aftershock. No,
Louder Than Life.
Louder Than Life. Aftershock's coming up, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if they're counting that as a stop on the tour. I'm assuming they would. But they did say this was the first sold out show.
Yes.
Here in Chicago. And a part of me is like, I wonder if that is because of the large Indian population here in Chicago as well.
Or the venue size.
So yeah, let's get into that. The venue.
But I don't want to take away from the large Indian population, or the culture here, but I think that might have something to play into it as well.
No, 100%. I think it's both aspects, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. The venue was small. It was, so we knew going in, it was Beat's Kitchen, right? Or Beat Kitchen. I had been to a few shows at small venues like this that are bars/restaurants that have a designated viewing, or I don't want to say arena because it's not an arena, a venue, like a designated area of the building for putting on shows, putting on venues, or putting on shows.
Like a concert hall?
Yeah,
like in the back
yeah.
Of their venue? I mean, you could call it a concert hall.
Yeah, I guess.
Or like I don't know.
It's just like a back room.
Yeah.
This particular one was. So I've been to Bottom Lounge, which is a really big bar, really cool bar. They hold events. This is a 2-story bar. At the top, they have people rented out for weddings. They host events. They had like a beer event. It was the first time I went there. But then on the bottom, they have a huge back section that they use for shows, for concerts. And that's not large, but much larger than this, definitely. And it's really cool. I like that venue a lot. And then I've been to Shuba's, which is just a few blocks, I'm going to say south, but it's not south.
No, it's east.
Yeah, I was walking forward, so everything behind me was south, because that's how my directions work. But in Shuba's, it was set up very similar to this, where you walk in and you're on the bar, and there's seats on one side of the bar and the bar on the other side, right? And then you walk straight back, and that's where the concert area is going to be. Shuba's, though, had they shared a bathroom with the building next to them, which was like a fancy restaurant, which kind of made us laugh, because here's all these kids showing up for a concert, and there's all these people in nice clothes dressed up to go out to dinner, and now they're going to hear loud music and not be happy about that, was our thought. So I expected something very similar to Shuba's when we showed up, but it was a lot smaller. than I remember Shuba's being. I remember, so we walked in, went straight back.
At Shuba's or at Beat Kitchen?
Here at Beat Kitchen. Yeah. Okay. So at Beat Kitchen, we walked in. I mean, it wasn't a struggle to get in. There was a line of people.
But that was that was just because you're showing your ID and getting your wristband. So it just took a little bit.
And that, I don't know if you caught some of the conversation of the couple in front of us, but it sounded like they either were trying to buy tickets to the show because they assumed it didn't sell out because stuff might not sell out that often there, or they had bought them, but they bought them from a different website, which was kind of a scam. I don't know what version it was.
The latter, because when I was standing there waiting for you to show your ID and come in, I heard them say, like, I don't know what website that was. So I think it's the latter. I think he was the patron or the person that bought the tickets was outside calling somebody to say, like, hey, I need this website, or like I need this email from this website. So I don't know if it was trying to contact the seller or if it was like a friend thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, because they also said, but it's sold out. So like, even if they wanted to buy tickets, they couldn't, right? Yeah.
So they couldn't purchase tickets on top of the either
like,
fake one or whatever.
Even if they got scammed, it's like, well, fuck, I guess we're out $20. Let's just get tickets. Like, you couldn't do that at that point,
right?
And it was kind of weird where we ended up getting two emails, one confirming that we had purchased our tickets, and another one with the tickets, which had a link to a different website, which is where you brought up the QR code to scan. Okay. So it was a little bit confusing. Not confusing, but different than I'm usually used to, right? Usually it's like the tickets are an attachment.
So you don't get it like a receipt and then...
No, it's usually tickets? Like, I think when I did AXIS or whatever one that is, if you do like the mobile version, I think it's like an attachment underneath.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't look at those emails, so I don't know.
But we walked in, and it was similar to what I sort of outlined with Shuba's, right? You had the bar on one side, and you had booths on the other. And we walked straight back and through this, like, swinging door. Looked like a kitchen door, sort of.
I remember as, like, a regular door. I don't remember a swinging door.
It was on one hinge, and it just, like, swung back. You didn't have, like, a handle.
Oh,
you just pushed it.
That's but it looked like a regular door.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where I mean it was swinging.
Okay, when I think of a swinging door, I think of, like, that rubber type door with like a window, and it wasn't that. Like a kitchen door,
I guess it didn't have the. Yeah,
it looked like a door.
It looked like a door that wasn't ever locked. It just swung back and forth.
Okay. That doesn't matter.
No. And then you walk in, and right to your, like, as soon as you walk in, on your right hand side was the merch table, which is like one guy working with his cell phone, taking credit cards, like those little square things. And then straight ahead of you was the stage. And we showed up, doors opened, I think 7. We got there about 7:45-ish or so.
Yeah, probably. By the time we got over there.
And there was
7:30, 7:45.
Yeah, and there was a large number of people already there.
Oh, yeah.
And waiting.
Yeah.
And we kind of made our way toward the front and found like a nice little comfortable spot to stand.
Yep, there was an air conditioner vent right there. That'll come up later.
And do you remember what you said to me right when we got to that spot?
It's small.
And you were uncomfortable, I think.
I was at first, yeah. I was very uncomfortable with how small it was.
Because you were like, I can see both walls.
Yeah. I think, so I don't like crowds in normal crowded areas, but like concerts I'm okay. But in that situation, I felt very trapped, like, because you have your one door, but then, I mean, it's like literally a wall, like, right beside you, and then a little bit to the other side. Like, I think this living room's like the size of the venue.
Yeah, it might be. I was going to say it's probably 20 feet across, maybe 30, but no more than 30 feet across.
No, it's very small, like a normal width of like a house.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like in like Chicago style houses. Like it's that kind of style where it's not very wide.
Yeah.
Like a Chicago lot. Yeah. I don't know if people know what we're talking about, but
just a very narrow lot.
Yeah, where you put a narrow house and
you build
no
up.
Yard. You build up, not out.
Yep. The other thing I remember walking in is looking behind me, there was another bar.
Oh, I saw that when we left.
And right in front of that is essentially where they built the soundstage to do that. Going along that wall, so if you're looking at the stage, this would have been the left-hand side. They had like those Q rope things where you have the pillars and then you take the like that fabric,
like the stretch
thing, and you latch it in. That way you can build lines and whatnot. They had that going along the side, and they had people standing on one side of that. And I was like, really weird. Like, how did you? Is that like VIP? I don't like. It's kind of weird to have a VIP. Weird. And then they had like boxes and shit all over there. They had like TV boxes. Like, this is fucking weird, but whatever.
I didn't see the TV boxes.
And yeah, so we just stood there and found our spot, kind of just hung out. Got hot. It was still getting warm while we stand there. It was
so hot.
Yeah, just standing there
stuffy.
waiting.
At first, waiting, it was just like that stuffy feeling where it's like, I need air movement. But it got worse.
Yeah. And then 8 o'clock rolls around, and I swear to God, the ticket said the concert starts at 8.
It did, yeah, 8 o'clock.
Nobody comes out. 8:05, nobody comes out. 8:10, nobody comes out. It definitely wasn't Bloodywood. There was a different logo up there. It was like this A, like an Anarchy A almost, but
with a K in the middle.
With a K in the middle also.
Yeah.
On these 2 TV screens on the side. And it's like, all right, so you're probably this is probably an opener. I don't remember seeing anything about an opener, but I always assume there's going to be at least one opener. I guess I always assume there's going to be at least 2 openers. And yeah, nothing.
So I always thought that there may be an opener because I saw like whatever I looked, I don't even know where I looked it up, but it was like Bloodywood and then comma and then other words. And I didn't know if that was like the name of their album, but I didn't think it was. But then I was like, maybe it's the tour, but then we saw like the 9 Inch Nons earlier. So I didn't know, but
yeah, I remember you also looked up for the show and you found like the name of something. You're like, well, this is like a jazz quartet or something.
Right. That was listed the same night at the same venue.
Right.
Yeah.
So we weren't sure, like, is this going to be really big where they have 2 rooms? One room's going to be one. Is this the opener? And I was like, this is probably the opener. Like, yeah, but it's a jazz quartet. There's no way it's going to be a jazz quartet for a metal band as the opener.
Nope. Yeah, not an Indian metal band at least.
I mean, you don't know. Like, yeah, Rammstein brought out 2 pianists to be their opener. So
I know. It just didn't seem right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely uncommon, 100% uncommon.
Well, and that one was listed as the band or whatever, and then like whatever it was, and then $0.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but it had like a 7 o'clock start time.
I mean, we got there late.
We did. So maybe something played for 30 minutes, but that would be weird to like have somebody there for like
and tear their shit down because we've got in, like I said, after 7:30. There's no way.
And everything was set up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that was all about.
And that was the other thing. Like when we were standing there, you look up on stage, and if you can see the drum kits, you can tell how many bands there's going to be.
Yeah.
And there were 2 up here for this.
Yeah.
Unless it's an odd band that has 2 drummers, which they're out there. So, I mean,
we just saw The Who and they had 2 drummers. But only one had a drum kit.
That's true. They
a
had
traditional drum kit.
Traditional metal and the traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was a little after 8:10, maybe closer to 8:15.
It was 8:13:47.
That.
And I just happened to like look down and be like, are they gonna like start?
See, and I thought the same thing. I was kind of getting a little pissed off because it's like you never start right on time anyway. But at the same time, it's like I don't want to be standing here in this heat for 45 fucking minutes waiting for this like ego, like I'm King Shoulda Fuck Mountain band like lead singer come out and be like they'll wait for me, you know, like an Axl Rose type ego on this person. It's like fuck, like shit happens, I get it, but like try to start on time. And then yeah, right around whenever you said it was 8:13, 8:14, whatever seconds, yeah. Along the opposite wall of where those boxes and shit were, you see like a security guy with, I think he had a flashlight, I can't remember if he did, but you heard him like, move out of the way, please, move out of the way, like telling people to make a hole. And then you see like 3 or 4 other guys walking with him along the wall. And one of them had like white face paint with these like black streaks on his eyes or whatnot. And it was like, oh, okay, so they're coming out now. They come up, they plug their shit in, they get settled. And then you see the lead singer turn around back to, I assume it's the sound guy, yeah. And he's like, no, we were supposed to go on at 8:15. Because I think he was saying the same thing, like, you guys are late.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we were told 8:15. So there's a miscommunication there. Also, doing this without mic and just yelling back and forth over the crowd.
It's so small.
It was. Like I don't need this mic. I can just sit here and yell if I want.
Yeah.
But then they go on. I have no clue who the fuck this band is. Never heard of them. I don't know their logo. Don't know any of this music. But they were fucking awesome.
It was really cool. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, I assumed so I didn't see the guy with the face paint. I only saw the guitarist and the drummer come out. And just from the look of them, I was like, this is going to be like a local garage band, which is cool. Whatever. Everybody's got to start somewhere. And then, because the singer, I think, had already turned his back to start their play track or whatever.
Yep.
And I don't know why I didn't look at the bassist, but I don't know. At that point, I didn't anyways. And so my mind immediately went to, oh, shit, this is going to be awesome for 30 minutes or 45 minutes of great music.
I mean, it's $20, so whatever.
Exactly. But that's what I was thinking is like, just from the size of the venue and just like, I mean, it's in the back of a bar. So I guess my mind just went to, this might not be that good. But as soon as they started playing and he started singing, I was like, this is great. And I really, really enjoyed it.
He was the only one, the lead singer, in any sort of like makeup or whatnot. Everybody else was just in jeans and t-shirt and just hanging out, right?
Yep.
His appearance was really cool, I thought. It was like solid white, black eyeshadow and black, like essentially crosses over the eyes, like starbursts almost.
Yep.
And then the black, I don't know if you noticed, but like the black
gloves?
No. Well, he had black gloves
contacts.
on too, but he had black contacts. So it's just like a black blob.
Yeah.
And he's a bald guy. And it's like, oh, this shit, I like the look. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. And yeah, I enjoyed all their music. Eventually they're like, we're Killer's Confession. Oh, that's, I guess, one thing. Maybe we didn't talk about the openers, did we? The Killer's Confession. Maybe we did.
You said that.
Maybe I did.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah. A Killer's Confession. Like, I had never heard this band, didn't know who they were. And then he's like,
you may recognize me.
Yeah, that's right. I am Wayne. I think it's Wayne.
Waylon.
Yeah. From Mushroom Head.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, I know Mushroom Head. And yeah, like it was awesome. So much energy.
So when he first said that, I was like, is he really? Are you sure? Like, is this just something he's saying? But sure enough.
But you looked it up, yeah.
I did in the Uber on the way home. But I know it was fantastic, phenomenal singing, phenomenal music. Even in the small area, like there was no echoey stuff.
Yeah, the acoustics were really good.
Yeah, the sound sounded really good for them probably setting it up themselves and everything. I don't know. It was great.
Yeah, I was shocked how good it sounded. I did not anticipate it sounding that good. I mean, you go to these big ass arenas where you assume they spend fuck tons of money to make it sound good. And here it's somebody like, I would need some like cork board or some sort of sound absorbing board to bolt to the goddamn ceiling. And they just go out and spend a couple $100, made it like it sounded great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you think about like the huge arenas. So I'm going to use Ghost as an example because we recently saw them and it was at the Resch Center in Green Bay. And like arena setup, they had a huge sound stage. Like the whole back of the floor was blocked off for the sound area. And it sounded like shit.
I mean, I get that for arenas also. It's a big open dead space.
Yeah.
So there's a
Yeah.
lot to echo off of and to like try to pad down. But at the same time, these places probably have larger budgets to try to address some of that.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
I don't know, like I was impressed with the sound of this place.
Yeah, it was really good. And I don't know, we didn't go near the walls enough to like see if there's anything on the wall to dampen the sound, or if it's just.
I don't think there was. I didn't check the ceiling out. That's where I would
tell.
Imagine it being. But yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes like if you use like a certain like fabric or something on the walls, then it like keeps it.
Yeah,
from
it looked
echoing.
like it was brick to me. If I remember right. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I kind of remember.
But
that.
yeah, like the ceiling was black to me, so I don't know if it was black with like the sound stuff on it or not.
But it wasn't dark.
No.
That's one thing I noticed with both performances.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So around the air ducts, like we have the type of air ducts that's exposed as well in our apartment. But around that they had like pink lights, which was kind of cool.
Christmas lights. Yeah,
like Christmas pink lights. And then right above where we were standing was, I mean, there was a couple of them, but there was like just a light, like a floodlight type thing.
Yeah, I would get the sense that, like I said, there's a bar back there.
Yeah.
So I'm getting the sense on busy nights that is seating for the restaurant.
Possibly.
If there's no events, obviously.
Yeah.
So overflow, or just for people to stand in a bar, right?
Yeah.
To hang out in like a bar. So maybe like standing things.
Yeah.
So I get the sense think of any bar with like overhead lights.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah, like a floodlight type.
Yeah.
I guess floodlights are more like on a garage, but
yeah.
like just a
normal like hanging light.
Yeah, hanging light, yeah.
Yeah.
Like industrial hanging light, yeah. Yeah, but during the performance, like they dimmed it a little bit, I think, but it wasn't off. So it was definitely light enough. It wasn't like a normal concert where it's like almost dark and then all you have is stage lights.
Yeah, so I don't know if they dimmed those at all, or those always just stayed on as normal, and there were additional lights that got turned on.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting the sense of, because
Okay.
later at the end of the night, Bloodywood wanted to do a photo, or like it took 5 minutes to turn the lights on.
I think they had to actually go to a switch.
I think so.
And turn a switch on, and it wasn't like like
finding the right one. Like, oh, is it this one? Nope, that turned off the open light out front, so we need a like that kind of thing.
like going to the breaker board.
Yeah,
and
like did this do it? But then it got a lot brighter when they did that.
They did, yeah.
But I think those lights stayed dim. Those might always be like,
okay,
we're always on lights, and yeah.
Yeah. So it was kind of a weird sensation because we're kind of used to being at, like I said, like at arenas or venues where they turn off all the lights. It's almost pitch black except for the stage lights.
Or like the bar lights. But still, it's a lot darker than this place was.
Yeah. And, yeah, it was kind of weird and maybe other places on the floor it wasn't as bright, but like where we were standing, there was a light. But I didn't really look behind us, and we were pretty close to the stage, so. So I didn't look in front of us. All right, I didn't look behind us, and I didn't notice in front of us because the stage lights. But.
Right. I mean, it wasn't overly obnoxious, because I know sometimes when there's like a light on, either in a movie theater, wherever you're at, if you're at like any performance whatsoever, and there's some sort of ambient light or light from some external, like other source than the stage or whatever the performance is, it can be very distracting.
Yeah, like your eyes directly go towards
right.
that.
Or it's just like it's blaring this one. Yeah, exactly. I didn't get that sense here. It was definitely noticeable, but at the same time, it wasn't like I'm now, like, it wasn't obtrusive or anything. It was
right. And maybe if we were standing behind it, that would be a little bit weirder too.
Maybe.
Because then you have it, but I didn't mind it. It was just different.
Yeah, no, 100%. Part of their stage setup had these 2 TV monitors off to the sides, and the guitar player was on one, the bass player was in front of the other one, and they had like these really trippy, like, kind of, I want to say, Windows XP screensavers type thing going on, but they were better, but still the same concept of like this just weird imagery that was constantly going back and forth.
And it kind of, sometimes it went with the song. Like,
yeah.
I think they have a song called Numb that I realized, but like, it was kind of like trippy, but it would like say numb and then like go in.
Oh, numb, not dumb.
Numb.
I thought you said dumb.
No, numb. but it would like go in and out, and every once in a while you could see the word numb on the screen.
There was one of them. It was a black background and like this silver blob that like would rotate and change and whatnot. I'm a big fan of Archer, which is on FX, and it reminded me so much of how FX does their logos.
Oh, I didn't even notice that one.
So I saw that and was like, "Did you steal this from FX?" But at the same time, it was still cool to see.
Yeah, there was another one that we had recently went to Roger Waters, I think, and they have a scene that's almost the same, but it was like a war-torn village that's going through, and it's just like demolished buildings. And I was like, that looks so familiar. And I feel like Roger Waters had a scene like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, during one of their video things that they did.
Oh, okay.
Either Roger Waters or does Megadeth do that? Do they have like a war-torn?
They do. I think that might
Scene.
be during Dystopia.
Yeah,
where it's
maybe
like
that's what I'm thinking of.
all blown apart
Yep.
buildings.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe that's what I'm thinking of, and not Roger Waters. But
Yeah.
it
That
was almost
sounds.
the same.
I think it's more like Megadeth for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. From your face, I was like, I think I have that wrong. Let me let me go back more concerts that we've seen this year and see where I got it from. But yeah, no, I think that was a good addition to their performance as well, is to have those TV screens with the scene on them at least. I mean, a lot of bands do it where like it's on a back screen or something that
Yep.
they have that playing, but for this size of venue and this size of band, like.
I mean, we talked about Korn, right? And they had a unique approach to it where it was like that front screen that
Right.
fell down.
Yeah.
I mean, similar concept, right? It's
Yeah.
just additional visuals to go with the audio, to go with the performance, to make it a holistic performance. And yeah, I felt it all went well together. I thought the band was fucking awesome. Like, they had so much energy. Tiny ass stage, but bouncing around, so much energy.
Yes, yeah. And there's like a part where he comes out with like a megaphone to like sing.
Yeah, he did that a
into.
couple times.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like I'd never heard that. At first I was like, oh my gosh, is he gonna scream into this megaphone and then it's gonna be like blaring? But it was more like a just quiet megaphone voice, and then I mean, I don't know how to use a megaphone, so I don't know how to do that. But
Yeah, I thought it was going to be very blaring and very obnoxious as well, but it didn't sound that bad,
No,
actually.
no.
Because, I mean, he put the microphone in front of the megaphone and,
yeah,
like, spoke into the megaphone and then went into the microphone to
Yeah.
amplify it.
yeah. It almost seemed like the megaphone was turned all the way down.
Maybe. Yeah.
That way it wasn't a blaring sound.
But I know other bands have done stuff like that, and I don't know, I guess I always get afraid of, like, the feedback of, like, that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And maybe it was turned down for that. I don't know. Also, I've never used a megaphone, so I don't know how they function and how that all works. But when he first started out, I was like, fuck, this is
I
going
know.
to suck.
I know. I thought so too.
But it worked really well.
Yeah.
He did do the damn Instagram.
He
Like
did.
us, follow us. But at the same
Yeah.
time, you have to self-promote.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
have to self-promote. As much as I hate it, like, you
Yeah.
have to do it.
So I kind of had. So we mentioned that with I think Jairus Johnson earlier this year. Megadeth kind of did it at their concert.
Yeah.
And then A Killer's Confession did it. And the thing that I thought of was for smaller bands that are up and coming, like Killer's Confession has been around since 2016.
Yep.
But obviously they're playing smaller venues. They're still pretty small. They have not very many monthly listeners on Spotify. I noticed, like I think they only have one album out, full album. Then they have singles as well. I could be wrong about that. Maybe they have two now. I can't remember. But anyways, so they do need to do somewhat of that. Like, hey, give us a follow. Go check us out on the social media or whatever. So I kind of get it, but then like Megadeth kind of doing it, I'm like, do you really need the comment?
But at the same time, it's use the tools, use the technology.
It is, yeah.
That's available to you.
Yeah.
Every comment, I guess, is one more
Yeah, and I think,
chip up.
but I think Megadeth was like doing YouTube or something like that, where you went and watched a video and then they wanted to comment. And I know with the algorithms, like the more comments you have, the more it puts it into the feeds, or like if you just search like metal music, or if you
Really?
Yeah, like so I mean, I don't know everything about algorithms, but like the more comments you have, the more likes you have. Use Spotify, for example, like Killer's Confession said, go follow us on Spotify. It then puts that into like those playlists or like I don't know, like some of them on Spotify are like Metal Charge or whatever. Like it'll move that up if you have listeners and followers.
I didn't realize it was following, because that just seems very simple. Like if you're like
to buy followers.
No,
because
like,
a lot of people do that.
Well, I know that, but I mean like Spotify, for instance, right? Where it's, so we had Pandora before Spotify, and we found that the algorithm, it was really cool at first because like you learn about a bunch of new music when you just shuffle, and it's a great way to learn about new music. With Pandora, after like 3 days, everything just repeated over and over.
Yeah.
Spotify was better. It was like after a month, things would finally start to repeat some. But even then, it was like very minimal repeats in terms of songs that were played, right? You'd hear the same band a lot, but not necessarily the same song. I always assumed it was tracking more of somebody who listened to Metallica, also listened to Megadeth, also listened to Slayer, and also listened to Anthrax, right? So somebody like the big four. So then somebody who just plays Metallica over and over and over and over, and then like, I want to do something else, put it on, or when it gets done listening to all of the Metallica, then it's like, well, they listen to Metallica, 90% of our other users listen to, and there's probably some of that, but if it's just simply following, somebody who follows this also follows this, so play that music, that seems very lazy.
So I don't think it's all based on just you follow this and this, but I think it all works together in the algorithm of like, oh, well, this band has, so I follow somebody on Instagram who likes to promote death metal or deathcore bands that have less than like 100,000 listeners. So it's just a way also to get them more follows, more listens, get them out there. It's like, you know, if you follow them, then it shows people that, hey, they're interesting.
Yeah.
Or they have good music. Like, I follow them, so maybe you should too.
Yeah, I guess I don't follow any bands. I think I followed like 3 bands maybe on Spotify, and I'm like, this is lame, this is boring, I don't want to do this. I know what I want to listen to. I don't need to follow a goddamn band. But I do want more newer bands. Yeah. So I need to find something like that where I can just dive into like those smaller, less than 100,000.
Yeah. I think if you follow them too on Spotify, you might get like a notification if they're touring near you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you know how Spotify has those like upcoming dates or whatever? I don't know. I mean, I don't have my notifications turned on, but I don't know if you would get like a pop-up or something, but I think there might be something with
there
that.
are some Spotify pre-sale dates or codes as well. So if you want to get tickets for a particular act before the, like when the tickets go on sale, like the pre-sale, there's always usually like a Spotify code typically. So that's like another advantage, I guess, potentially. So maybe I should start following more. But
yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if you do get a notification or like something on the screen that says like this band's releasing an album, or like I wonder, like Slipknot just came out with an album. Like if we were following them, I wonder if you would get like that popped up like when you open your app in the morning or whatever. Like,
yeah, there's a bunch of shit that pops up for me, and I usually just delete it. Or
oh, really?
I don't even read it. Like I don't give a shit. Like,
I have nothing pop up.
I don't give a shit Spotify. I just want music. Like when I pull it up, especially if I'm walking or getting up in the morning, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to do goddamn shit. I just want to listen to music to get level set for the day. And that's, I mean, growing up, right, driving to school, listening to Laser because I didn't have a CD player or even a cassette player to do that. Like janky ass, put the cassette in, hook it up to your CD player because somehow that works. Technology.
Yeah, you hold the CD player in your hand.
Well, no, you get one that actually works. You spend more than $10 at Walmart. But
not if you're me.
I just had, Laser, and I just wanted to listen to music. And in the morning, it's a goddamn talk show, and it's like, motherfuckers.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. I just need music because I'm about to go to school, and I can't deal with this shit right now.
Yeah, I forgot those like morning talk shows on the radio.
give me some fucking music. God damn it.
I bet all those people are unemployed now that we have Spotify.
No, they're still there. They still do. Like, we were back in Iowa earlier this year, and I think they still do. They were promoting like their Monday drive to work, like, talk show bullshit. And it's like, I fucking hate this. Just play music. That's 6 to 9 in the morning, 3 to 6 at night. Should be nothing but music. No fucking talking.
To let everybody get
You're-
their whatever, either get ready for the morning or get home
You're
at night.
going to school. You're going to work. I don't need to hear somebody fucking jibber jabber about goddamn bullshit. Even if it's stuff I care about. Like, the morning talk shows are super fucking entertaining. I just don't want that.
You want to
right
hear it
now.
at like 9 o'clock at night.
Right. I don't need that this early in the morning.
The best shift, I guess, would be like third shift after 10:30 when they actually play good music.
Yes, it would, because then then you're getting like the heavy music and whatnot.
Yeah. So you had to listen to late at night and not early in the morning when you're going to school.
But getting back to the show,
Oh yeah.
he did mention, like, go on Instagram, follow us. Go on Spotify, follow, like, all the social media. He's like, get your phones out. Y'all fucking have them. I know you do. Which is another good thing, right? There weren't many people taking photos or videos.
No, there was only like 4 or 5 in front of us anyways.
Yeah, and we had ours out to do it from time to time.
Yeah.
But
I have nothing to killer's confession. I didn't take.
there's not that fucking wall of, like, here's my phone, and you're
yeah.
watching the person's in front of you phone instead of yours.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did it for a little bit to get photos for the Instagram and whatnot. So for people behind me, I'm sorry. Like, that's
I feel like you're
bullshit.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't see you, but you're pretty respectful of it. Like, you just hold it up for like 10 seconds.
I try to, yeah.
And then, like, just snap as many photos as you can. Hopefully we get one that we can use. And then you put it back in your pocket. But you're not recording an entire song holding it up in front of your head.
Yeah.
Like, I did record 3 small snips of Bloodywood, like 15 seconds, just to show my coworkers. Because I talked about it a couple weeks ago that we were going. And I did have to hold it up this time because, like, it was such a small room that there's not that area between the stage. So, but generally I, like, hold it in front of me so that, like, if I want to take a video or want to record something, like, I hold it in front of me instead of above my head or, like, look into the screen because I'm like, I don't want to be watching it through a screen.
Yeah.
So I don't want to watch it through your screen.
Right.
It's annoying.
But he's like, it's 2022. I know you fuckers have phones. All of you motherfuckers do. Get them out. And I thought it was going to be like, we're going to mosh. We're going to do a wall of death, which they did do both of those.
Yeah,
they
did.
Like, hey, who wants to mosh? Because if you don't want to mosh, get the fuck out of the way. And next thing you know, the floor opens.
Yeah.
And there becomes this giant fucking pit.
Yeah. Like, almost the whole floor.
Like 3 people back from the stage, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're going to do a wall of death. Get back. And same thing. Like, I don't know. It was really fun. But I thought it was going to be something like that. Like, we just saw Suicide Silence.
Yeah.
And they said the same thing, right? Where they're like, your grandma wants to know what you're doing. Take a photo, like, take a video to show her what's up.
Yeah.
So I assumed it was something like
It was
that.
either, like, participate or videotape this.
Right.
Yeah.
So I assumed
Or
it was
videotape. Who has a videotape? Record this.
Yeah. So I assumed it was the exact same thing going on here. But no, it was go follow us.
I did too. I thought that he was going to do something of like, okay, now take a picture or, like record something. I didn't know it was going to be the follow thing. The follow thing didn't work for me at first because I had no signal. So I kept clicking it and it wasn't doing anything.
But then he followed that up with, once you do follow us, I'm going to be back in the merch booth. Come by, show me you followed, and you get a free little gift.
Yeah.
And he was there all night.
He was, yeah.
Which is, small bands have to do that, right? You get a friend or something to work your merch booth when you're on stage. And then once you're off stage, you go back and you sell your shit and you meet your fans and you do selfies, do whatever you need to. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We didn't stop by and say hi or anything. We probably should
didn't,
have.
yeah.
But
I said it in the Uber. I was like, oh man, I didn't stop and say anything. Or I think I said like I didn't stop and get my free whatever.
I think I saw somebody doing that, and they pulled out like this bag full of like wristbands or like those old like Live Strong plastic ones, which is it's cool to get. Like it's a free little gift, right?
Yeah, yeah.
At the same time, it's like I don't need that to like show.
Don't we have like an arch enemy one or something like?
Yeah, that's
you could
true.
Just like put
just
it with
add it with
whatever.
the collection.
Yeah, like we just have all the random shit that we've gotten at concerts.
Yeah.
So you just put it with that and.
But I mean, I did think that was awesome that he's hanging out, meeting fans, talking to them, and like you were saying with the algorithms, getting that going, and like that's how new people find it. Also with following, like it's just people talking word of mouth. Like when I first got into metal, I did do some like internet searches to find out what bands I might like, to like get my core sense of what music I wanted. But then it was my core friend group also we're listening to this. Have you listened to this? We're checking this out. And like going back and forth, like you should check out this band. You should check out this band. And like you expand your horizon so much just by your friend base.
Yeah. Well, not our current friend base.
No, but I mean, I mean, that's still a way to expand your,
Yeah. We do this because nobody wants to listen to us talk about concerts.
Yeah. I mean, my friend base is definitely not into metal, but they're into like EDM and other genres. So I do expand my music tastes and music elsewhere in other genres, but definitely not metal like we did growing up.
Yeah. All my friends like rap.
Yeah, I mean...
And I'm not into that at all. I've tried. I can't get into it.
But, yeah, that was... I don't know. That was a killer's confession. Yeah. They fucking killed it. It was awesome.
Yeah, so good.
All of it was great.
Yeah.
So... Then I went and got my second beer. Super cheap beers. Free water.
Yeah.
You don't have to fucking pay for water.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Even though they were selling like liquid death for like $4 a can. Still super fucking cheap, right?
Yeah. I mean, the water was in like
it was tap water.
Yeah, like a Kool-Aid container, but I didn't really care.
No, I mean, it was
cold.
It was free cold ice water.
Yeah. We should say, by this point, I was drenched. And we barely move around at concerts. Like, we're not in the pit or anything. Were you sweating pretty good at this point?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
I was a bit warm, but I wasn't sweating by any means.
I don't know why, like, even when we went to Lamb of God, Aragon Ballroom, like, I was sweating. Like,
yeah, and I wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's so weird that, like, I'm just, like, last night I was really, really warm all night, and I couldn't stop sweating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I just feel like the temperature never went down.
There were moments when they opened the doors.
Oh, that was nice. Yeah.
And then there was a couple moments where you felt the air kick on and blow on you because we were under the vent. But no, I ended up getting a beer, bringing you back water because I assumed you would be hot and wanted water. But the band was on stage tearing down. Again, small band, no roadie crew, small fucking venue. I don't know if we said this yet about the venue, but we were speculating how many people there were. And it's around this time that we saw like the max occupancy sign, which said 168. And we're guessing around 150 tickets?
I would say probably 150 because you got to take in, what I would say is you have to take into account the road crew, or like the sound engineers, the band, like if you're doing it per like the correct way, because I think those are for like fire hazards or something like that. Like you would have to take into account like the bartenders, everybody that's there.
There were no bartenders here, but yeah, definitely like you said, the sound engineers, the bands, the merch table.
The merch table,
has a couple people, right?
Yeah.
Security, there was some security there.
Yeah.
So I mean, that leaves you, if you sell 150 tickets, that's 18 people for all of that.
Yeah.
Which isn't unreasonable. I guess that's a decent number, especially for that amount of.
And you got to think like the band, only 4 of them are inside the venue at a time.
For this band, yes.
For this band, yeah.
For a Killer's Confession, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see it being a little less, maybe like a 130 to 140, just to have more buffer for staff. But at the same time, I think 150 is a good solid round number for
I'm sure. Yeah.
tickets sold.
Yeah, because you're not going to sell like 159 tickets. That's just kind of weird.
Yeah. So, I mean, by far the smallest show we have ever been to.
That we have been to, yes.
Smallest venue we've ever been to.
It was so fun. I don't know. Like, it was so fun to be so intimate. And I even heard some people off to the side be like, I think they were talking about possibly a Killer's Confession. Because it seemed like one of the guys knew one of the guys, and the guitarist. I don't know if you noticed that interaction they had. But they said, like, oh, this is probably the only time we're going to see them at a venue this size.
Like, too small or too big?
Like, too small.
Oh, okay. Like they normally play larger venues.
Yeah, like, or, like, after they do this tour. Because I think A Killer's Confession came out with an album recently.
Oh, did they?
It's like, oh, once people hear them and, like, they start touring, then it's like, we're not going to see them in a venue like this.
So they go up from this to, like, the Vic or...
Yeah. Like, you're an opener
Blues.
for a little bit bigger... Not that Bloodywood's not a big band, but just not in the U.S., really.
Yeah, not yet, yeah. And that was one thing, too, right? Waylon came out and he's like, you guys are in for a fucking treat with Bloodywood tonight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole point that I was trying to get to is by the time I came back with the Liquids and the band was tearing down, you see like 2 to 3 people on the stage right, so on the left, like on our left, and where that sound engineer was, where that rope sort of VIP section I thought was, and all those boxes, including, like I said, the TV boxes. Those TV stands that they had those little background visuals on were their own TVs, and they needed the boxes. So like all of that side stuff wasn't VIP. It was, we need this room to store
our shit,
the boxes and shit that the equipment goes on.
Yeah.
And they need to bring all that on stage, load it up, and then get that out on the other side on like that back door thing.
Yeah.
And it was just such a weird, I'm not used to like the bands are right next to the equipment.
Right.
So it just goes with the small venue aspect.
It is, yeah. Other people, it seemed like that they had been to this location a lot to listen to performers. Maybe they live around there, I don't know. But I wonder how other small, because there's a lot of small locations like this in Chicago. I just wonder how they have, like if they have a back room type thing, or if it's the same situation where you're having to utilize some of the floor space to like store your equipment, or how it is.
Right. All that said, they got their stuff cleared off relatively quickly.
Yeah, really quick. I thought Bloodywood would come on quicker.
It did take a while once all that got done for Bloodywood to come on. And then same thing. The lights sort of dimmed. The house music sort of stopped. And right along that right wall again, you see the security leading a group of guys toward the stage. They get to the stage and just stop for a little while. And then you hear somebody come over the intercom and they're like, we regret to inform you, such and such can't be here. He is sick, deeply sick or something like that, deeply ill. That just means you all will have to sing his parts. And I was like, fuck, this is going to suck so much.
Do you think that was real?
I do. Yeah, I've always thought, just listening to the music, that there are 2 vocalists.
Oh, okay.
Listening to the music without seeing them live, I always got this sense, like, in my head, just to, like, if I had to classify them, how I would put them in my head was, Bloodywood is the Indian Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Where you have 2 vocalists, one that's more heavy vocals, can sing, like, just very deep, growly, heavy shit, and then one that's more rappy.
Yeah.
The more rappy vocalist, I think, is the one that was sick.
Yeah, yeah. I see that now. If you look at Wikipedia, they have vocals and growls, and then a rap vocals.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names because I'm so bad at pronunciation. I need somebody to say it first, and then I can say it.
So I was like, God damn it, this is going to suck so much. But then they take the stage, and it didn't suck at all.
No.
It
was awesome.
The vocals that was the gentleman who was there or was not there for being ill, they had a backing track for his parts.
Yep. Yeah.
That was a bit annoying, but all things considered, better than not having it.
Yeah, and I think it was better. So we made a comment, or I made a comment when we saw Jairus Johnson with Korn that they had a backing track, and that just annoyed me because I felt like it was like the backup vocals plus a bass, and I was just like, it didn't go well, and this went well, in my opinion. Like, it would have been better to have a, physical person there, but I think it went well with, like, they made it work well.
There were some instrumental parts, so I expected a lot more traditional Indian instruments.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And you get on stage, and it's your drummer, your bass, your guitar, and I'm assuming like a traditional Indian drum that's like to the side, and he's got 2 sticks that he's beating the ends with. And that's all that came on stage at first. And they start playing, and then the vocalist comes on, the other vocalist comes on and sings. And the long-haired standing drummer dude gets off stage because he's not on for all the songs.
Yeah.
But there were a few parts in the songs where there was some more traditional sounding Indian instruments that I think came from that backing track.
I think
also.
so too. Yeah.
And that was a little disappointing, but also not that disappointing because I kind of wanted a physical person playing that on an instrument.
Yeah. But if you think about logistics of bringing all those instruments and having all those people on tour with you to play all those instruments.
And on this tiny of a stage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as they get bigger, maybe they'll bring that in and it won't be as much of a backing track. But even though it was backing track, it wasn't super, super disappointing by any means.
Right.
It does make me wonder, though, if the vocalist had not been ill, if they would have even had that as the backing track, or if that was just sort of, oh, we're going to play this.
That's interesting, yeah.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Like if they have the raw master and they can just play the one track of the vocals, or if they had to like just we have to get the CD and then pause it at the right moment.
Yeah, but the backing track was more of the traditional like Bollywood music that you hear. Like, I don't know even more how to explain it because I don't know the instruments that they use.
Yeah.
But
that traditional drum that you like, that's the drum you hear in like all their songs.
Yep. Yeah.
And it was fucking awesome to see this guy up there.
Yeah.
And they were wearing, most of them were wearing, I would assume traditional, like especially him was like traditional Indian garb, what I would imagine being traditional.
So what I noticed, I mean, there was some tall people in front of me, so I couldn't really see the whole stage, but I noticed that, so he had the traditional, like, I don't want to call it a smock, but, like with pants underneath, but then
like the longer shirt.
The longer shirt,
down to like your knees or so.
Yeah, like almost a dress length, but
and it's like cut down the sides.
Halfway
up. Yeah.
We should do our research and know what these things are called.
Yeah.
But and then the other males that were, or the other people that were standing, had that style just on the bottom, but then they had like a t-shirt on.
Yeah,
Did you notice that?
I think the lead guitar had the top also.
Yeah.
Like the actual.
It was a different
it was like
style.
a darker.
Yeah, and it had like belts and stuff on it. Yeah, it was a little bit different, or like buttons and belts.
And he was also the one that like played the flute for the song, which was super fucking awesome.
So I had a coworker because I had mentioned that. He asked if I played any instruments, and I was like, "Oh well, not really, but I played the flute in high school." And then he was asking like, "Oh, do you play this kind of flute or this kind of flute?" And I'm like, "I play the flute. I wasn't putting together the other cultures. Like, if you see a flute in the U.S., everybody thinks of like
the classical music flute.
The classical music flute, but now after seeing this, I'm like, oh, that's probably what he was asking, like, because it's probably more traditional in India to play like the the recorder type flute.
Yeah, where they don't really have like that wooden piece, right? Where you, or does your flute have? No, your flute you just blow over.
You blow across,
yeah. Oh, right. You're like, and they're like, yeah. I know.
Yeah, and then theirs is more like a recorder, or like a.
It reminds you of a recorder type.
Yeah,
thing.
it reminds me. Yeah, it's not a recorder by any means, but just you play it in like kind of the front of you.
Yeah.
And then the singer had a T-shirt on, like any
he did,
metal singer, and then
it was like
he had like the pant skirt thing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. Yeah. He definitely had a T-shirt with the sleeves cut off.
Yes, like any metal band would.
Yeah. And I'm assuming the drummer did too. I didn't get a good. I can't remember the drummer that much.
He had traditional clothes, like
did he?
Like the other drummer, yeah. The drummer that was stood up, a traditional smock on, yeah.
Yeah, and
I noticed him right away. Like, I saw him come out earlier, and I was like, oh, I bet he's. Well, I didn't know if he was part of the band or just part of the touring, but, in my mind, he had like the nerdy look because he had like black glasses and like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like beard and everything. I don't know. He just looked kind of nerdy for a metal drum player.
But yeah, like I said, I was super nervous once they said that the other vocalist wasn't going to be there, and I was like, fuck, this is going to suck. But the other vocal who came out and growled, and he sung a lot of Hindi as well.
Yes. Yep.
So I think and not saying he doesn't speak English, because all of his interaction with the crowds were all in English, and very, very good English.
Yeah, I think he speaks really well. I mean,
but I always assumed it was like the rapper did the English part in rap, and then the growly was always like the Indian. So I'll have to go back and listen to their stuff and see if it goes back and forth.
Yeah, I did listen to some today again because I was like, oh, let me listen to it. I like to do that, like after I see a band live the next day, or like if we're away, like on our way home or whatever. I like to listen to it to kind of be like, oh yeah, like I remember that part of the concert, or I remember when this happened. And I think he sings most of it. Both parts, the Hindi and the English parts.
Oh, does he?
Yep, and it flows so well back to, like back to back. Like
it does.
Like it's like one sentence, or however you write music, but like one sentence in English, and then the very next sentence is a line of Hindi, and then right back to English.
I think El Nino does that really well also,
yes,
where they transition between English and Spanish. And I think that was my first exposure to a band mixing two languages.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, another band, and they do it so fucking well.
Yeah. And obviously we don't speak Hindi, so
right.
We don't know what it was. Mocha?
Mocha, yes.
Yeah.
One part at the end where I think it was the encore song, where they're like, we'll do an encore.
But you have to sing.
But you have to sing with us.
Yeah.
And he gets to the part where he's like, he's like, all right, here's your part. And he sings a lot in Hindi really quick.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can't keep up with what you just fucking said. I don't, like, if you gave me a week, maybe I could learn this.
A week? I need like 6 months.
Yeah. And then he's like, and now what's the next word? Crowd is silent. Nobody knows. And then he's like, does anybody know the next word? And there's like one guy in the front who's like, oh, I know it. And he's like, cool. And he gives him the mic. He's like, what's the next word? And the guy's like, on the spot, he's like, oh, I didn't expect you to do that. Like, he didn't say that. But in his mind, I'm assuming he's like,
I think he said, like, she knows more Hindi than I do.
So in his mind, I think he's like, fuck, I didn't expect him to, like, call me out and give me the mic. So his response was, my wife knows more Hindi, or my wife knows Hindi better than I do.
Yeah.
But then he ends up saying it, and he's like, that's right, it's mocha.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he repeated exactly what the singer had just said.
Oh, did he?
Like the Hindi that he said super, super fast. And then he's like, well, no. Like, basically, like, that's what I just said, but, it's mocha.
Yeah. Because he was looking for, I think that was the whole joke, right? He's like, all right, now you need to sing. And he goes really fast and, like, knowing nobody knows what the fuck.
Yeah.
Or very little people in the crowd know. And it's like, it's mocha. Mocha's very simple. It's 2 syllables. We can all do this. And everybody sung it like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And then he gets into the song. But that was awesome. I don't know how we got down to that. But anywho, let's go back. And yeah, I don't know how the conversation got down this rabbit hole.
To the last song.
But yeah, we jumped a lot, but down this rabbit hole. But I mean,
the English, how he speaks English very well, and then we were like, going into we don't speak Hindi, and then
right. So
we said the one Hindi word.
But I mean, yeah. So I was like super nervous, and then he like when they said the other vocal's not going to be there, then he comes out and just fucking tears it apart, growling and just going ape shit. Like it was a blast. Yeah. Pits were having fun. The crowd was having a great time. During both sets, the crowd was awesome.
Yeah. I like the pit in that situation because it's like pretty small, so it's like they're just ping ponging basically.
Yeah, it is.
But it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I mean, because we were right on the edge again for I don't know. I feel like we are always on the edge of the pit, but like they're just ping ponging back and forth. Like we're shoving them, or I don't know. It was just fun.
Yeah, it was a great time. And the one complaint I had halfway through their set was, fuck, you guys talk a lot. Like he came out like almost after every song, he would come out and he'd do a little spiel. And they were good messages to speak. Like the first one was, hey, everybody has dreams. We have dreams. We started in New Delhi, this small band, just a group of friends, and our dream was to be rock stars. And we pursued that dream. We made many sacrifices to pursue this dream. We're not to that dream yet. We're one step closer. And the fact that you guys are here to see us is so grateful for us to know that we have some validation of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And it's very true, right? Like, if you have a dream, chase it. You're going to have to make sacrifices, but the end is worth it. And even the journey in and of itself is worth it. And I think that's the whole message there, right? Is we haven't reached our goal, but this journey has been life-changing and amazing. So thank you.
Yeah.
So that was one message, right? And then the next song comes on, he plays that. And then the next song was, we all have demons. We all suffer from depression. And it's like, God damn it. Like, shut the fuck up, please, and sing. But at the same time, chase your dreams. They're worth it. You have depression. Everybody does. We're in this together. We're family. Like, both of these things are like, yes, please talk about this. We need to talk about this more. We need to do this stuff more. So I was torn personally of like, I just want to hear music and not so much talking, but also like, I fucking love you talking. Keep talking. Don't stop talking. Like I was torn on like what I wanted at that moment.
Yeah. I wasn't mad about the talking. I like to hear the other, like all parts of it. And I think that they brought in some cultural references and, just, I thought it was good.
So, I mean, like I said, for the first little bit, it annoyed me. But then at the same time, it was the same for both bands. It was such a small venue that both people would drop their mics to the side of their hand and just yell back and forth to the crowd. And for Bloodywood, after every song, somebody would yell, hydrate, hydrate. And he's like, oh shit, I forgot to drink water. So I don't know if...
they did that like 4 times and he still didn't drink water.
But then he's like, oh, I'm going to go back. And then he'd take a swig of water and put it back. And by the end of the night, he was drenched as well in sweat. Like he gave it his all.
Yeah. He even made a joke. He was like, when a guy from India says it's hot, it's hot. Which I have a lot of coworkers that say that like in the middle of August when I'm like, oh, it's so hot outside. And they're like, go to India.
I mean, I've worked with people too in the middle of July wearing winter coats.
Yes.
It's like, this is cold. And it's like, it's 100 fucking degrees out. How do you mean this is cold? Like,
yeah.
It's context, right?
It is a context, yeah. I mean, it was just 90 degrees 2 weeks ago and now it's 50 and I'm freezing.
I mean, we used to go down to Texas during Christmas to see my mom. Yeah. And it was like 60. And we're walking around in shorts and t-shirt. Like, this is fucking beautiful. And everybody else is like in winter coats and like, how are you doing?
And everything.
So same concept.
Yep.
But then he brought up some interesting stuff as well during his talks, right? Of like, we're broken, we're injured, we're hurt. Like, and I'm wondering if the hydrate thing, like we don't follow them on social media, or we hadn't before this. So I don't know if like maybe there was an incident at a different show where they just they went
They
too
went too
hard,
Yeah,
and
that'd be interesting to kind of look
like
back and see.
dehydration or something. So maybe it was people who do follow them really closely know like, hey, we love you, we love what you're doing, but take care of yourself. We don't need you to kill yourself for us.
Yeah.
Which might also be what happened to the other vocalists, right? Of like just going too hard type thing. I don't know. Or maybe it really is the flu or a combination of everything. But then they also brought up we're like, we're not a big band. Like our tour bus isn't the standard bus that you think about. It's a 15 passenger van that we all just sleep in sitting up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we drove 12 hours from the last show last night to be here and just slept in like
sitting up position,
right? So I mean that comes with the territory, I guess, of being a young band. But I'm so glad they came. It was it was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Like I think I'm really getting more into, or not more into, but I'm getting more interested in like these foreign bands. Like we saw The Who a few nights ago. We saw Bloodywood. Like just to see the traditional part of it, to see a band that we may never see again. Who knows? Hopefully they come to the U.S. But I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not traveling to India to see Bloodywood.
Probably not anytime soon.
Yeah, not anytime soon, anyways. So I don't know. Probably not going to Mongolia to see The Who, but you know, like it's cool to see these bands and to see in like such an intimate setting and everything is really cool.
100% the intimacy. Like this, like I said, was by far the smallest venue we'd ever been to. But this was the most fun I have had at a concert in a very long time.
Even with Lamb of God?
Yes.
Oh.
I had more fun here than, I mean, this might have been the best concert of the year for me. Like, it was so much fun. The crowd was into it. The crowd was a blast. The music was awesome. The sound was awesome. That just, like, yelling back and forth. Like I said, like, somebody in the crowd would yell, hydrate, and his mic would be on the stand. It's like, oh, shit, I forgot. Yeah, let me go.
Yeah.
And then go back and grab, like, a bottle of water. Like, I don't know. It was a blast. I enjoyed it. And then, like, we were talking a little bit about the encore, right? They sort of all walked to that same corner they got off on, knowing they were going to come back for an encore song.
Yeah. And people knew. I mean, granted, maybe people have seen them or, you know, like, followed them or whatever, but they knew what song they were going to play and everything. And I don't even know any other names of their songs.
There's that Break the Camel Back song, which I would assume would have been the encore, but that was pretty early.
That was early on, yeah.
And I think, I don't know. That was great. I mean, I don't know. And to your point, like you were saying earlier about all these other bands and like The Who, these foreign bands coming over and doing stuff like that. And I think we mentioned this maybe during the podcast with Five Finger, or at some point we mentioned about like, I like multilingual or different language bands.
Yeah.
Especially bands that incorporate their culture, their heritage into the music.
Yeah.
The Who is one great example. Bloodywood is another amazingly good example of this.
And I hope we find more.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I want more bands to do stuff like this. Because, I mean, those traditional instruments, right? The drummer that came out and beat the drum, like, that was amazing to see and so much fun to see.
Yeah. I would agree. I wish we could. I mean, they're only here for a couple more shows, but I wish we could see them again on this tour. But
I mean, the way the crowd was acting, their sound is fucking great. Like I said, they're the Indian Linkin Park in my mind.
Yeah, I would
agree.
When I
equate with like when I think of them. So I mean, I only see them getting bigger. I don't see this slowing down. And and I hope it doesn't slow down.
Yeah, me too.
Because the same thing. I want to see them more. I want to see them on bigger stages, but at the same time, I don't. Because I mean,
you like the intimate.
I'll always
setting.
think of like if I see them at Soldier Field someday, I'm still gonna remember this show. And be like, this is good. It wasn't as good as Beat Kitchen.
Yeah, like I know. Gosh, I think we were at Ghost, and some guy was going around saying like how he had seen. I don't even know what band, but he had seen them at like these small venues, like before they got big. He like talked to the singer and like all this stuff. Like he was just having a conversation. And I was just like, I mean, we didn't talk to the singer or anything. We could have probably, if we went to the merch booth, we could have probably talked to either.
For a killer's confession.
A killer's confession, and possibly, I don't know how it was during a killer's confession. Like if anybody from the band was at their booth, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Because when we went and got a shirt, it was the same guy when we first
got
there.
I didn't know.
But yeah.
I mean, I hadn't been there. Yeah. So, but I mean, they did just walk through the crowd to get to the stage and stuff.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, you know, it was like, it's not like other bands where it's like, you don't even see the band at all. Like they're just coming from the back end or backstage and coming out. Anyways, but yeah, like if we ever see them at a larger venue, we would be able to say like, oh yeah, we saw them with like 150 people. Like they're playing in front of thousands now, but we saw them in such a small venue.
So, I mean, and maybe that's a good way to end this, right? This whole chat is, yeah, I think they're going to go places. I think they're going to be big. I hope they are. I hope they come back. I want to see them again. It's going to be awesome. But after the show, we walked out to get my damn ice, to get my credit card because I left the tab open, right? And we're standing there waiting. And next to me, a couple people were talking. And somebody there said something along the lines of, oh, that was so much fun. I miss bar shows. And, you know, this was our first sort of bar show and small venue show like this. And I think I'm hooked. I not only love the band and the music, the entire experience, the crowd, everything about this. I want to check out more small shows now like this because it was just so much fun and such a blast. I don't know what your thoughts are, but that's sort of where my head is.
Comfort level is pretty low with that. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I did have a lot of fun last night. So I do want to check out a couple more small venues, but I don't know about just going in blind, like maybe trying to find somebody that we know or start listening to some music and then find them coming to Chicago or something.
Maybe. But, I mean, all in all, amazing show.
Yeah.
Amazing show.
Yeah. Great night for two bands. I mean, and I don't even know the last time we saw two bands.
Right.
Like, generally it's 3, 4 or more.
So if you guys are out there and haven't heard of, you know, Bloodywood or A Killer's Confession, definitely check them out. Definitely worth it. If you get the chance to see them live, 100% do it. Both of them kill. So, I mean, go have some fun. Enjoy some live music.
Yeah, it was great.
Cool. Till next time. See ya.